With just less than 24 hours until American citizens take to the polls, voter education in the midst of emotive and sometimes untrue campaigning from both Kamala Harris and Donald Trump has become crucial. The League of Women Voters in Georgia is a non-profit organization that deals with expanding voter access, education on candidates, and provides information on ballot issues. Newzroom Afrika's senior politics reporter Ziyanda Ngcobo is with the president of that organization and joins us from Georgia in Atlanta. Ziyanda, you have now moved to another swing state, one that has a particular history in the civil rights movement in the U.S., isn't it?
That's right, Davi, and where we are is a place that has been spoken about so much, not just in this election, but even in the 2020 election. Donald Trump really talking a lot about election fraud and vote rigging. That was a topical issue. He claimed there were missing votes in 2020, and just yesterday at another rally that he was hosting, one of the 3 rallies that he hosted, he again spoke about this issue quite sharply. Let's listen into what he had to say last night.
We should have one-day voting and paper ballots. Then I just heard that a couple of states may go an extra 12 days. How the hell do you have an election? You know, they spend all of this money on these damn machines. And paper ballots, you'd have the answer by 9 o'clock tonight. They are fighting so hard to steal this damn thing.
So that was Donald Trump last night at his rally, one of the other swing states, the political battlegrounds. But here in Georgia, it's very critical. There's a lot of talk around the security at voting stations tomorrow with just less than 24 hours to go. But importantly, as you've mentioned, we've got the League of Women Voters who do a lot of voter education, including on the ballot, what actually happens. There's a lot of talk, of course, in some states there might be a delay in the vote counting, and of course the longer it takes, the bigger the vacuum there is for politicians, as we even saw in our election, to actually speak and misinformation and disinformation. And this is exactly what this organization deals with. I mean, you will recall that even in our general polls that the Independent Electoral Commission really made it a point to actually stick to the 3-day time that it took to declare the election results. So let's bring in Nicola Hines, who is the president of the League of Women Voters, to talk about this. So here in Georgia, there's a lot of talk about, election fraud. We just played that bite on air from Donald Trump yesterday. Primarily, what does your process look like? And in Georgia, are we expecting any delays?
Well, yes. So the process here in Georgia is we have early in-person voting, we have absentee mailing voting, and then obviously tomorrow is election day, and that's in person. All of those are done electronically. Absentee ballots are paper ballots that people mail in or can drop in a drop box. They don't start getting actually tallied until the end of tomorrow. So the last polls close at 7 p.m. They have to be all done and counted by 10 p.m. Electronically, they will, look at the actual ballots, count what the computers have said, count the mail-in ballots, and then that's how they tally those up. And we should be able to have results by the end of Tuesday for Georgia. We do go through a certification process, and that certification comes into November 12th. It's the last day to certify. And so what happens with that is each county's election board has to certify the results for their counties, and they have until November 12th to do that. And then that's when we'll know officially what is the official count here in Georgia.
So what happens, or what could possibly happen in between the vote counting and the certification process? So you know how it is that people declare a victory, and then perhaps with the certification process it could change.
Yes. So we do a court system, and our Superior Court actually said it is legal and binding that the counties have to certify the results. So how it works here is that each county's registrars has a supervisor, and their team is the one who's physically are counting, making sure everything is in line, and they provide a report to their board. And the board goes through the report, asks the questions, Q&As through it, and then they take a vote. So obviously the majority is supposed to certify. Even if you have a board of 5 and 4 says certify, 1 says no, it will still be certified. We are seeing some concerns about that because we have seen the trend of not certifying results, or board members that are sitting on election boards not actually certifying the results for all various reasons. So we just had a couple here in the state of Georgia. We actually, Fulton County, where we're sitting at right now, had a board member who did not certify the primary results or the runoff primary results for her various reasons.
Let's talk as well about the security aspect, because that's also something in particular here in Georgia. I mean, we arrived here last Wednesday, and that's all that, the local news channels have been talking about, the security of the ballot, here in Georgia. What is it about this particular area that it makes it such a talking point?
Well, I think that comes to the mis and disinformation that we had, right? There was the falsehood that, there's missing ballots 4 years ago, that there was a box missing from Fulton County that they could never prove. They went to court. It was not proven. So that kind of put the falsehood in people's minds that our elections are not secure, they're not safe, i.e. why our drop boxes now had to be put in buildings, right, instead of outside where they used to be, and used to be convenient. But they're in boxes that they're secure. When you actually do your vote, it goes into the lock, like it's scanned into another machine. Those are not opened up until election. So that's what's really secure. It happened 4 years ago, the falsehoods of missing ballots, people putting boxes of ballots and then hiding them and separating them. And we do have a very secure, our Secretary of State has even said it, and he oversees the elections, that this is a very secure and safe election process here in Georgia.
All right. Nicola Hines is the president of the League of Women Voters, a non-profit organization that deals with voter education and really demystifying misinformation and disinformation, in particular here in Georgia, one of the swing states looking and shaping up to be a very, very knife edge kind of election. And tomorrow is voting day, less than 24 hours to go before America decides. So we'll leave it there for now in Atlanta. Just stay tuned to Newzroom Afrika. Valen Kirtley back after this with your sport.